we can exhaust such concerns. So the next question from Honorable Hussein Barre.
The Chair, that's question number 3. I'd like to respond as follows. Honorable Chairperson, members of the committee, the Member of Parliament for Tabach constituency, Honorable Hussein Barre, has requested a statement regarding the rampant cases of human trafficking in northern Kenya. The Honorable Member particularly sought to be informed on 1, a comprehensive report on the investigation into human trafficking in northern Kenya and the country, including investigation into the operations of involved recruitment agencies. Mr. Chair, according to reports on missing persons, the police have confirmed several cases of human trafficking where individuals lure youth with promise of a better future abroad. The details are as follows. In Mandera, for example, on 27th, OB number 27/3012 of 2024, Halima Hassan Sheikh, a resident of Bula Mpya and a member of Somali Ogaden sub-tribe, reported that her 19-year-old daughter, Nasteha Mohammed Sheikh, a grade 8 student at Bula Mpya Junior Secondary School, left home on 29th of December 2024 at around 10:30 hours to visit the Mandera town market to purchase a pair of shoes, but did not return. Efforts to reach her via phone were unsuccessful. DCI officers launched an investigation and established that she had crossed the border into Ethiopia via Suftu. Through collaboration with officers from Ethiopia, she was intercepted on 6th of January 2025 in the Gothe region while en route to Addis Ababa. She revealed that she had been befriended by a man on Facebook who had promised to take her to Germany, and he had planned to meet her in Addis Ababa. However, she refused to disclose her Facebook account details to investigators, claiming her phone had crashed. Due to lack of cooperation from both her and her parents, she was eventually handed over to her family. On OB number 2719/11/2024, Mandera Police Station again, Abdirahman Nur Ahmed, a resident of Bula Kamor, reported that his 17-year-old son Zakaria Abdirahman, a Form 2 student at Kamor Mixed Secondary School, went missing on 18th of November 2024 at around 600 hours. Before his disappearance, he had informed his brothers, indicating his intention to travel to Libya through Ethiopia in pursuit of a better life. Efforts to locate him are ongoing in collaboration with Ethiopian authorities and Kenya KDF liaison officer in Ethiopia. Again, in Mandera Police Station, OB number 5912 of 2025, Bilal Ali Nur Mohammed went missing on 21st of February 2021, but the matter was never reported to the police. His family later discovered that he was being held captive in Libya, where kidnappers demanded a ransom of 2,350,000. His parents, Hussein Ibrahim Mohammed and Rama Isaac Hassan, made the payment through the Bashil money transfer on 7th Street, Eastleigh, Nairobi. The money was sent to Siad Nur Mohammed in Kismayo, Somalia, and Hinda Ibrahim Mohammed in Mogadishu. The case remained unreported until 12th March 2025, when Bilal contacted his mother from an undisclosed hospital in Tunis, Tunisia, claimed that he had been shot in both legs. He revealed that after being abducted to Libya, he managed to escape in November 2023 alongside other captives, including 2 Kenyans from Mandera, who are now caring for him in hospital. He also identified Bilal Shukri Ahmed, a 31-year-old Kenyan of the Kodia ethnicity, as the person who facilitated his movement. Following this information, angry members of the public attacked the alleged human trafficker. However, NPR officers on patrol intervened, rescuing him and placing him in custody at Mandera's police station. The case was handed over to APTU in Mandera detachment for further investigation. On 14th March 2025, the suspect was arraigned before Mandera law courts under the case number MCCR 01825, where a 21-day custodial order was granted. The case is set for mention on April 4th, 2025. It was set for mention that day, and with ATPU Mandera detachment handling the investigation. Preliminary findings indicate that certain individuals are involved in hoodwinking the youth with various promises of a brighter future abroad. Investigations are ongoing to determine whether these individuals are affiliated with recruiting agencies or organized groups. Number two, measures being taken to ensure that the families and individuals who suffer these atrocities get justice and rehabilitation. The following measures are being taken to ensure that the families and individuals who suffer these atrocities get justice and rehabilitation. Implementation of victim-centered approaches. Measures are in place to prioritize the well-being of victims, including immediate rescue operations, legal aid, and psychosocial support to help them recover from their experiences. B, collaboration between law enforcement and humanitarian agencies. A coordinated framework has been strengthened to facilitate the reintegration of rescued victims, ensuring they receive the necessary support to rebuild their lives. C, action against traffickers and recruitment agencies. The police is actively investigating and acting upon information on recruitment agencies and suspicious individuals involved in trafficking, leading to their apprehension and being arraigned before court. D, community awareness and education. Awareness campaigns are being conducted to educate communities and recognizing and reporting human trafficking cases, empowering them to play a role in prevention and intervention efforts. Number three, long-term measures being put in place. The following long-term measures are being implemented to address the case of human trafficking in the country and formalize labor exports from the country. Strict enforcement of labor migration regulation. Existing laws governing labor migration are being strictly enforced to prevent exploitation, to ensure safety of migrant workers. As you must have seen, Mr. Chair, there's a lot of reports also, not just in the northern part, but in Nairobi and Kisii and Nakuru and Eldoret, where this some recruitment agencies are operating and exporting Kenyans in quotes, trafficking them to dangerous destinations, including Iraq, including places like Saudi and other parts of the world, including Turkey and other places. Investigation and arrest of human traffickers. Enforcement agencies are actively identifying, apprehending, and arraigning before court persons involved in human trafficking. C, imposition of deterrent punishment. The courts are awarding strict penalties to those found guilty of human trafficking to discourage further involvement in such activities. And D, enhanced border security and scrutiny. Security measures along Kenya northern border have been tightened to curb illegal migration and trafficking activities. 5, community sensitization awareness campaign, which is ongoing, and deployment of security officers for surveillance and intelligence, and finally strengthening collaboration with stakeholders, which includes NGOs, international organizations, governments, like the case of Ethiopia, and this cooperation is disrupting trafficking routes, which mainly are leading to Arab countries. I thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Waziri, for the attempt. Waziri, I must say this issue is quite serious in northern Kenya and also in the country. And there is a need, the youth are really taking advantage of because of the widespread unemployment that is across the country. So there is a need actually to sensitize the communities and probably use the provincial administration, the chiefs on the ground. Some effort has to be put so that they take a lead role in sensitizing the public. And also, attempt must be made because from my investigation, casual investigation, there are people who are recruiters in different towns who are recruiting these youth, giving them hopes of better lives in other areas. And if time is taken by the security agency, these people can be found. So some people must serve as an example to the others so that it rings a bell in everybody who is participating in these activities. Let's also do serious sensitization on our youth, on the dangers that they face. I know this is coming on and off, and I'm sure, I was told there are 25 young girls from Wajir who are stranded across Libya and those North African countries as they head to Europe. So this is just a small report, but I must say this is seriously widespread. People's organs are being sold in the markets across board. So this is seriously something that's affecting Kenyans and the young people. So deliberate effort from your office through your provincial administration structures, this station has to be done. And we must have some people who will serve as an example. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Chair and Waziri. Waziri, if you have realized when you are going through your statement, most of the OPs were from Mandera. This is an issue that is giving us headache as politicians from those areas. Because a mother who has never handled 10,000 shillings, never. Her kid just goes, they are brokers. Around Isli, around Nairobi, they're here. They're here. They're not any other place. They're here. They don't charge any shilling when they're taking them. When they take them there to Libya or any other places, now they are told, go and talk to your parents, let them send 3 million shillings. The mother has never handled even 10,000 shillings. Then they come to the politicians now. I have personally contributed to, mothers are crying. Their kid, they send a video. Some of them shot live. They are shot at the, at the leg. Others are beaten with heavy, you cannot imagine what they are doing. The videos are here in my phone. It will shock you. Now they have to go around the communities. They go around all the leadership. They contribute the money. Some succeed now. Once you send that 3 million shillings, they succeed and go back, go to maybe Germany or UK or any other place. Then the youth now can see the person who has been beaten and the video there is now sending money to the families. Then others are all going. Just last week, 2 ladies were slaughtered in Libya. 2 of them from my constituency. In fact, one had 1 kid. She left the kid with her sister, then said she's going to the market. Kumbe, she's just going. When she went to Libya, I think they hold her for 2 weeks. When they missed the money, they slaughtered her. They sent while they were the dead body. You cannot imagine what is happening. So I think what the ministry needs to do, Waziri, these people are here, they are not far, they are here. Our security agents can investigate and get hold of these people. If you get hold of the culprits, then you are done. You are done. I think we need to show an example to those people who are trafficking our youths. And because they have no job, they have no employment, they have no otherwise. Just 5 weeks ago, the son to my sister who was in my sister's home here in South Sea, we missed him. After looking for the boy for 3-4 days, I used my my network in our police, our NIS. We got hold of him from Sudan, or en route to those areas. They boarded him at Kenya Airways, and I took him from here. Nilipeleke Mandera sahi ako huko, nilipeleke mama. This is a problem that is there and we cannot ignore. I think we need quick action.
I think, Chairman, given the concern, I think, Waziri, you need to take a deliberate action. This calls for a collective effort. The local leadership and your office, because it appears that we have so many small cells that are recruiting people. In fact, you cannot say these are recruitment agencies. These are just criminal individuals. They are not registered anywhere, and they are doing their work freely. So if you take a deliberate action to mobilize the leadership in northern Kenya, so that this information, because I also understand that in some areas, people hardly open up and give information to security agencies. But with this information that is coming and is very alarming, it is important to have that and move. And secondly, it is also important that our intelligence service, if the cells are around Isli that are recruiting, this is an urban area. It is very easy to track and disable these individuals instead of just letting them run amok and mess up with the security situation of our country. Thank you.
Chair, when you listen to these stories from the honorable members, it is a very weighty issue. And when I see us, I think we need to look at some deliberate measures on how to curb this problem. My concern is about the news we normally get in the newspapers and all this, that some people have traveled from Moyale, and they are arrested in Isiolo. So how do they come to Isiolo? There are roadblocks all over. So we need to know, because there's a lot of money involved. It's a lot of money. It's actually business. So, I think we need to address this issue from the source of problem, particularly the agents who are here. And then also, we need to look at our police, our security officers, particularly those who have stayed in a place for a very long time. So they get used to these things. I mean, it's business for them also. So we need to be changing officers who are in these areas so that they can be able to, those who are there are not used to these things, so that we are able to curb this problem. So that is one of the problems why we need to get. I know unemployment is a serious thing. Of course, it is worldwide, but we need to really be serious as security people, address these cartels. Actually, they are cartels, which we need to address, and address it seriously. NIS must play a bigger role, because they know these people. So that we will be able to arrest them, get them arrested, lock them in, take them to court. So, Chair, I think that's an issue which we need to address. Thank you.
Chair, thank you. I just want to sympathize with the police. I sympathize with the police because, like Mheshimiwa Waitan says, a girl leaves her child with a sister and says she's going to the market, yet she knows she's already made plans to go to Libya, etc. But now it doesn't become the girl's problem. It becomes the police's problem. So indeed, the police really have a heavy responsibility. But I think on our part as leaders, we must also go on a sensitization program. If we know that is happening, we also must take responsibility and sensitize the people in the community that this is happening, and don't allow yourself to be fooled. If then they allow themselves to be fooled, the police will help in looking for them. But it's to curb that program, the problem, it will not just be a police problem solely. You know, we must sensitize, and it's upon us to actually do that sensitization. Because otherwise, the police cannot be everywhere all the time when this young girl is talking to this man on a Facebook, whatever, you know. So we also have to play our part. The police, we know we don't have enough, and we know they don't have enough to go around the population. But as leaders, for me, listening to these stories, I'm like, hey, even the police, I sympathize with them without saying that they shouldn't do their job. But we as leaders, we can also take an active role and go on a sensitization program in our communities. That might also help some of these girls, because many of them are naive and they are just looking at the hope or the promise that of a better life. But if you sensitize them, probably they'll think twice before they fall into those traps.
So, yes, I don't know whether majority were just comment. Maybe the vice wanted to add something.
Thank you very much, Waziri. I think I want to say that this is much bigger than you. It is about the society. When a Muslim girl going to secondary school or even primary school goes to the market, it is not the tradition of the Muslim, because she must be escorted by the brother, the father, or the mother, so long as she is not married. So the first drawing board, we must go back to the society to really have, we must restore some discipline and order in the society. Secondly, this issue of human trafficking, it is linked to drug trafficking, it is linked to arms trafficking, it is also linked to terrorism. Last night I was driving from Marsabit, and I stopped at 6 roadblocks, together with one at Aicha's post, where we have the multi-agency. And every of these askaris are going to inspect, they are going to check the IDs. But they could have just flagged me to just go through, but as courtesy, and also I wanted to observe, I stopped and I told them I want to wait. But in the process, what I have come to learn is drugs like Bang leave Ethiopia, they pass through Moyale, then they come all the way to Turbi, to Marsabit, to Laisamis, to Achas Post, Isiolo, and then it finds itself in Nairobi. Then you ask yourself, what is the purpose of all these roadblocks? Then it means something is not adding up. That so long as our security agencies, there's complicity in them doing their work, then we are unlikely to resolve the conundrum of what is happening in our country. So for that reason, really my request to you is, recently there's this case of people going to Vietnam and Thailand, Cambodia. What we really want to see is people before court. The media brings all this drama, and then it dies down. But people are in business, people who are doing this. So unless people are before court, and I'm told most of these traffickers are people who hold big money. So they will go to the police station and they excuse themselves to come back another day, not to even to record a statement. So we need to close the loop in terms of who are these people who are involved, so that everybody must have their day before justice. A lady from Mandera is going to give 3 million. Where do you think that money is going to come from? It comes from politicians. Will these politicians have this money? Most likely not. They borrow from all of you. That, oh, please, you send me something. Eventually, it puts the country in a lot of financial difficulties, because that could just be one case that is before us. Which are these many cases that we don't know about? The other thing is this community policing. Unless we have a very effective community policing, so that an incident happens, the child disappears for 2 hours. The community around there must know. The police must know, so that there is alert. But once it becomes normal, disappearance becomes normal, then I think you are unlikely from where you sit to enforce the law or to direct the police in one way or another. Thank you, Chairman.
Mr. Chair, I totally agree with the comments, and I appreciate the comments from the members. This thing of human trafficking, as you know, is a serious global problem, okay? And we have laws here, we have institutions globally. It manifests itself in, in very different forms, some of which are very subtle. For example, if you're talking about the people who are going to Myanmar, Vietnam, and all those other countries, ordinarily, they will just go through the normal recruitment agencies, and then, you know, the process is processed, and they're saying people are going there, they are going to do official jobs, and then when they reach there, they are used for sexual exploitation and other things. So it's also important that we look at these things holistically in mapping out, for example, the labor agencies. We need to have few registered non-labor migration agencies. We also need to make sure that the society is aware of this, what is trafficking, you know, and you know, before someone allows their child to go out of the country, they should be able to know where they're going, which job, where is the application letter, and so forth. But again, they also take advantage of illiteracy. That's why they go for the marginalized areas where literacy levels are very low. I don't know. This is just off my head. I don't want to be a roadside declaration kind of a person. But I think at some point, like we have established other special units, perhaps a special police unit for human trafficking will have to be established at some point. It might be actually necessary, so that even if it is not a fully fledged, that it is all over, but a smaller unit that thinks through, coordinates the assesses the patterns, receives the intelligence report, and works with the officers on the ground, it might be necessary to have a special unit to deal with human trafficking. We already have a unit that deals with the anti-narcotics unit. Again, we have already had a lengthy discussion with NACADA. We think that NACADA's proposal is that this anti-narcotic unit needs to be strengthened. The IG is working on how best it can be made stronger. In his own words, in the words of the IG, he would like to see it to be at the same level with anti-terror unit, because also narcotics and drugs are becoming a problem with us. So in the coming days, we will be seeing a more bolstered, strengthened anti-narcotic unit. And I think that emanating from this discussion, a thinking around human trafficking unit might be necessary to confront the new challenges that we are facing as a country. As you can see, the cases I read here go back to 2020, 2019. You know, it's been an old case. And then, as Vice Chair said, it's linked also to terrorism, among others. As you all know, that in Marsabit the other day, there was a major operation in Marsabit and Isiolo to dismantle cartel, drug cartel there, led by the OLF. And in the process, we realized that there are also elements of Al-Shabaab that are part of it, because they were involving themselves in acts of mining, at the same time human trafficking and drugs. And we are discussing about Kenyans getting lost, but we also know that these characters were using Kenya as a route for trafficking persons from Ethiopia, through those routes that have been mentioned, and sometimes also through Garissa to Tana River, then crossing Savo East towards Taita Taveta and to Tanzania in some cases, or through Kwale to Tanzania, or through the sea, because there are many sea points that are unmanned. So these are challenges that we must confront, and perhaps, as you have said, it is something we need to think through how best we can make it bigger and intergovernmental in nature, so that then if there's that unit for anti-trafficking, they will then have the human trafficking unit can also work together with the labor agencies to monitor the trends. I can also not emphasize the fact that most members here have said community awareness and civic awareness is extremely important. It's important for us as leaders to voice these issues continuously, and to ask religious leaders in every area as we come to use the Friday prayers, Sunday, Saturday prayers to bring awareness. You'll be surprised, Mr. Chair, that this is not just confined to the north. Some of these recruitment agencies traffic people. And there are even a number of cases from Kisii and other parts of the country, Nairobi, of course, in the people we have in Myanmar, Vietnam, and Saudi Arabia and other parts of the world. So it is something that we must continue labor migration without giving it a bad name through human trafficking. And that is, we must separate the chaff from the wheat. I think we take most of these as suggestions from the members on how to make things better. Yes, I agree with Honorable PC Sigay that Ambassador Sigay, that this thing of officers overstaying in a place should come to an end. And again, based on my recent visit to Coast, there was a strong recommendation from all the police officers, OCSs who are there, that it was also dehumanizing to have somebody operate somewhere in Tarasa, as we were told by, or in a place of operation for more than 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. You know, we were being given, Mr. Chair, even cases where a police officer, because he's been posted to Tana River, he thought that he's going to serve there for 5 years, then move to another place like that, or posted to Mandera border. It's an operation area he thought he was going to do for some time, then come to another place and there will be changes. They even decide to marry for the time being in that area. in the hope that in future he will now go and marry properly the way he wanted. And so it's it's very personal to the well-being of these officers who are serving in different places. We have agreed with National Police Service that in the next 3 months, all transfers must be done. Anybody who has served more than 3 years, there must be changes across the country, so that somebody who has been in an operation area can go to a different part of the country that doesn't have the challenges they are facing in the corner they are in. And then leaders and so forth. I think roadblocks, Vietnam, yeah, all these other issues, we take them as suggestions to improve our response on these issues. I think I have a last question, Mr. Chair, which is from Honorable Kakai Bissau, which is question number 9. There are other 3 questions. I don't see the honorable members here. You will guide me after that, but let me first go through the one for Honorable Kakai Bissau, which is a statement regarding the disappearance and tragic death of Miss Lydia Tokeshi Buhala. Honorable Chairperson, the honorable member sought this information in 4 parts, and I'd like to respond as follows. First, part 1, steps taken on the disappearance of Miss Lydia Tokeshi Buhala and actions taken by Kilimani and Kabete Police Station to investigate the case. Mr. Chair, the disappearance of Ms. Lydia Tokeshi Buhala was initially reported at RUTO Police Station and subsequently referred to DCI Kabete, who took over the investigations. As such, was initiated on 8th of January 2025. The deceased's motor vehicle registration number KCU 931V was found abandoned in the RUTO area. The scene was processed and documented, and the crime scene investigation team conducted a forensic examination. The vehicle was towed to DCI Dagoretti as an exhibit. Number 2, progress of investigation. Mr. Chair, the scene was processed and documented by the crime scene and investigation team from DCI Dagoretti. Relevant samples were collected for analysis and subsequently submitted to the government chemist in the lab reference number provided for, which is A142/225. On 11th of January 2025, a mutilated body of an unidentified female adult was discovered from Gataka Forest. As a result, the DCI Homicide Directorate took over the investigation from DCI Kabete on 13 January 2025. The DNA analysis was conducted, established at 99% maternity match between the discovered body and the deceased mother, confirming the victim's identity. The toxicology report is currently pending. Report on the whereabouts of Mr. Joseph Philip Orwa as a person of interest and a key suspect, and the findings of the police on his connection with the disappearance of Ms. Buhala. The suspect, Joseph Philip Orwa, was the last person seen with the deceased on 5th of January 2025 at about 1400 hours at his residence in Ongatorongai, which is the approximate time the deceased's phone went off. Further investigation revealed that the suspect was using 2 mobile numbers, both of which were switched off shortly after the murder. The suspect's mobile number was later traced along Kikuyu Road at around 600 hours, which aligns with the same time the motor vehicle was abandoned within the same area. Investigation established a link between the suspect and the deceased motor vehicle, tracking its movement from Ongatorongai to Ngong and finally to the Ruta area, where the vehicle was disposed of. The suspect was captured on CCTV footage and multiple petrol stations along this route on the night of 6th January 2025. The DCI investigation team visited the suspect's home in Oyugis and its environs and documented substantial evidence. Efforts are in place to trace the suspect's whereabouts and subsequently arraign him in court to face appropriate charges. Measures in place to support families of missing persons during investigations, including coordination between different police stations and the role of forensic technology in identifying and tracking movement of potential suspects. Upon receiving reports of missing persons, the police immediately commenced investigations utilizing forensic technology to trace the victim's last known movements and identify potential suspects. Throughout the investigation, the police keep the victim's family informed at every stage, providing regular updates and necessary support. Once suspects are apprehended, they are arraigned before court of law to answer charges, thus ensuring justice is served. In short, Mr. Chair, the suspect is still at large, but the evidence is overwhelming, overwhelmingly pointing at him. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, CS, for that comprehensive feedback. The bottom line is the people of Masaba in Community constituency would like to know who killed Lydia. And you've talked about the phone being switched off. Now, even if the phone is switched off, are you confirming that it's never been switched on and using another mobile number? And two, you've mentioned about the families being informed. I have been constantly been in touch with Mr. Bukhala, the father, and the mother as well. But so far, there's been no communication from your side, unless maybe it's on its way. But I think it would be very good to actually emphasize on that so that the persons who are affected also feel that actually they are being sorted. But the bottom line, we want to bring the killers of Lydia to book. And given the system that you have, I believe that sooner or later we'll bring the killers to book. So I'll appreciate also if you continuously kept us updated as the people's representative from community and also to the family. So I think we can keep the issue alive and keep us posted. Up to that, Chair, maybe if you could allow me also to raise some rider to the CS. To both the CS and the PS, I know your job is very demanding, hands-on, reactionary in terms of emergency. I don't know where you're headed to. When the next call rings, you might be going to an emergency response area. But there is the issue of gangs in Trans Nzoia, which I have constantly been in contact with both of you, trying to forward to you these messages, and I believe other leaders as well from Trans Nzoia, from the women rep to the senator to the other elected leaders. I believe that some of the situations we are seeing, because I remember, Chair, when there was a statement read in the House from Vihiga, do you remember when MP Muhaya brought the issue, we had to park and went, you know, in the waiting areas to discuss it, because already you had assured me that this was being worked on. There should be a way to mitigate these issues, CS. And you are aware, PS is aware. What are you doing about this issue of gangs in Trans Nzoia? I'm forced to bring it here because my several efforts to reach, I know you're busy, yes, but this will get out of hand. We must take some actions to mitigate it. You might give me the answer now, or later on we can organize with the rest of the colleagues from the county to come and sit down, but we need a quick action on this. And lastly, infrastructure. Chief's office. I know, or sub-county headquarters. An example, in community, we don't have a sub-county headquarters. But if you went to other sub-counties, you see a lot of investment from your budget line. Now, even as you reorganize, could you relook into affirmative action? And on the chief's office, and we thank you for really expediting the issue of the village elders. But these village elders, most of the time, when we put up the chief's offices, we need to have like a standard plan where they can also have like a waiting area so that they can also have a decent life. Because I know today, without those village elders flowing through the information upwards to the assistant chiefs, DCC, up to the RC, up to your level, it will not be possible if it's not for these men and women. So yes, we appreciate you've come up with the issue of giving them the remuneration, but think also about their well-being in terms of the physical infrastructure. And as I said, also on the distribution, also think of the other marginalized sub-counties in the past, whereby you'll always see that some sub-counties actually, they've been left out. So even as you do the redistribution, for those who put requests across, kindly look into it. Thank you.
Maybe we...
I think this is straightforward.
Because we should be finishing in 10 or 15 minutes. Maybe a rider, you're normally very brief.
Yes. First of all, Chair, I want to thank you for this opportunity. I want to thank the CS, particularly for the tours you went the other day. This is what we want, visibility. One of the things which we face in this country is the issue of police doing a good job, but not keeping up